understand that once the egg was broken and the young chick comes out, it can't go back. It won't ever be an egg again. Like eggs, we are about to break out of the shell of our past 18 years. Once we act or make decisions, we cannot undo our actions. We must accept the consequences. Our character is the accumulation of our decisions and life experiences. So it is up to you what you do with your life. And please remember, as I do, to pay before you chew. Thank you.
I would crawl out of bed, grab my book, and head to the closet. There I would sit with the door shut and the light on, reading until I got caught. When I was asked to think about what scholarship means to me, I was reminded of that story. Of course, by this time of the year, when a senior hears the word scholarship, he or she immediately thinks, money for college. But I knew Mr. Woods probably had something a little deeper in mind when he asked me to give this speech. So as I reflected about scholarship, the closet story came to me. And I think that's what scholarship means to me, a desire to learn at all costs. Sure, I got yelled at every time I got caught in the closet, but it didn't matter. I wanted to read, to learn. There's a saying that states, men stumble over pebbles, never over mountains. And if you think about it, that seems to be true. It seems that it's always the little things that hold you back, not the big things. Take my reading, for example. It wasn't that I couldn't read, which would have been a big problem. It was the minor problem of getting caught in the closet. Unfortunately, it wasn't just the little things when I was younger. Now, I can work a calculus problem all the way through with the right procedure and still get the wrong answer because of a little addition mistake. But it's not just the little details in calculus either. It's the little things in life. During the past several months, many of us here tonight have been engaged in intense college searches. For me, the big decision whether to go to college or not wasn't hard. And sorting through the never-ending stacks of mail, something for the juniors to look forward to, wasn't a problem either. For me, the hard part came when I was down to 2 schools and I had to make my choice. There were so many things to be considered and discussed. And yet again, it was really only a little decision, a pebble. I knew I was going to college, and both of the schools I was considering are strong academically. But it took a lot of thinking to finally make my choice. So many of us, myself included, will be going off to school next fall to continue our educations. At that time, we will have to draw on the same hard work, dedication, and scholarship that has helped us gain the success that we have had here at Moline. Juniors, you still have another year left at Moline. Make the best of it. Senior year can have a lot of pressures, especially from colleges. You've got to get the grades to get their attention, but don't let that be your driving force. You've got to get the grades because you want them, because you want to learn. That's what scholarship is, having the desire to learn and attaining the knowledge that you're after. One of my best academic memories comes this year from calculus, where attaining that knowledge was no easy task. I've had to struggle all year to keep my grade up, putting in extra hours before and after school, and it's always the little details that confuse me, one formula or one technique out of a section. But with the help of Ms. McManus, I was able to pull out an A the first semester. Then, shortly after the end of the semester, I was recognized as student recognition for my hard work and dedication to calculus, an event I was very proud of. Usually, my classes are pretty easy for me. Calculus has been a long, difficult struggle. Getting recognized for it helped me realize that anything you want is worth fighting for, no matter how much you have to overcome. Besides, overcoming little problems is what life is all about, whether it be in calculus, or choosing a college, or simply finding a good closet to read in. So, seniors, as you're working your way through the next few years, studying for that degree, don't let anything stand in your way. Oh, but watch out for those pebbles.
With an appropriately titled speech, Boys Chase Girls, Alicia Jones will entertain us as she talks about leadership. When I was originally faced with the task of writing an inspiring and memorable speech about leadership, I figured I'd better read up on a little bit on the subject first. So I consulted the revised 1983 version of the NHS handbook in order to learn more about leading people and how to do it. As I read the handbook, I realized that I had been a leader ever since the young age of 5. In kindergarten, I demonstrated leadership in promoting school activities in the afternoon kindergarten class of Mrs. Bromley. I contributed ideas that improved the civic life of my school. I inspired positive behavior among my classmates, and, most importantly, I exercised my influence on my peers in upholding the essential ideals of Roosevelt Elementary. Now, I can tell you're all on the edge of your seat asking, Felicia, how did you uphold these ideals and fulfill your role as a leader at such a young age? Well, very simply, I incited mob action on the Roosevelt playground through the wonderful game of Boys Chase Girls. Creatively titled, Boys Chase Girls is a game which was invented by little girls who wore cute, frilly dresses to school so that the boys would chase them on a playground, lift up their skirts, and reveal the pair of shorts that each mother had wisely suggested her daughter wear. Throughout grade school, Boys Chase Girls remained my favorite game until 4th grade when everyone started playing Foursquare. A great person named Anonymous once said, in any group of people, a small fraction will be leaders, a larger fraction will be followers, and a substantial proportion just won't want to get involved. This statement is the foundation of Boys Chase Girls, and the basic reason I developed my leadership skills so well at such a young age. When I was 5, I loved being chased by boys, and I was going to make sure that every single person in my class participated in the game. In order to convince everyone to play the game, I asked, ordered, and bribed my fellow students with toys and candy. Well, today, I find myself using the same techniques without the candy. But as editor of the Linotype, I'm always asking, telling, and bribing people in order to get the paper finished. As Secretary of the National Honor Society, I was constantly persuading people to do things for me during Share Joys. If it hadn't been for Boys Chase Girls, the 1992 Spirit of Christmas contest wouldn't have raised more money than ever before. Mrs. Bromley, who is in our audience tonight, must be so proud of me. Another lesson I learned in kindergarten was how to use my leadership role to my own advantage. Anytime I wasn't happy in the game, I changed the rules by yelling, "Girls chase boys." Well, immediately the game was reversed and I was happy. I found that this role is very valuable in high school as well. As co-captain of the speech team, I got to choose the events and the scripts that I would perform. As president of Thespians, I make decisions involving meetings and activities. As the credit card commercial should say, leadership has its privileges. But unfortunately, leadership also has its downfalls. Whenever Boys Chase Girls got out of hand, I was always the first one in trouble. And consequently, I periodically missed playtime in the afternoon. Today, however, leadership has larger consequences than not being able to play with clay. If someone on the Linotype fails to fulfill his duties, I'm the one who has to stay late and make up the work. During Share Joys, I spent many hours counting money, running errands, and worrying. This winter, I spent a lot of time helping other members of the speech team instead of practicing myself. But, in retrospect, a missed playtime can hardly compare with being chased by the cutest boy in afternoon kindergarten. Likewise, I would never trade the advantages leadership offers simply because of the unwanted responsibilities. Grade school offers me many fond memories. As I look back, I can see the events that helped to form the person I am today. As I was being chased by a 5-year-old on a playground, I never dreamed I would someday apply those skills to much larger tasks. So, 20 years from now, when I'm called into school because my daughter has been persuading little kids to spit milk out their noses, I'll sit back and smile and know that someday she's going to be president. I will now light the candle for leadership. to the mind of Sarah Beckman when she thinks about service?
The importance of character, scholarship, and leadership is evident, but our ultimate goal should be to serve others, and achievement in these three areas will provide a basis for future service. As we finish our final days at Moline High School and travel in different directions, we need to be committed to serving others. There was once a quiet young boy named Billy. One afternoon, Billy came home from school and told his mother that he had decided to make a Valentine for everyone in his class. His mother was apprehensive. She had watched the children when they walked home from school. Billy was always behind them, and the others never included her son. Nevertheless, she decided to purchase the paper, the glue, and the crayons. For the next 3 weeks, Billy diligently worked night after night until he had finished the 35 Valentines. Valentine's Day finally arrived, and Billy was beside himself with excitement. He carefully stacked his Valentines up, put them in a bag, and bolted out the door. His mother knew he would be disappointed, and she decided to bake some cookies to ease the pain a little. It hurt her to think that he wouldn't get many Valentines, maybe none at all. That afternoon, when she heard the children outside, she looked out the window. Sure enough, there they came, laughing and having the best time. And, as always, there was Billy, following behind the group. He walked a little faster than usual, though. She fully expected him to burst into tears as soon as he got inside. His arms were empty, she noticed, and when the door opened, she choked back the tears. "Mommy has your favorite cookies and some milk for you," she said. But Billy hardly heard her words. He just marched right on, his face aglow, and all he could say was, "Not a one, not a one." Her heart sank, and then he added, "I didn't forget a one, not a single one." Billy teaches us a lesson about giving and serving others. He demonstrates that although it didn't appear as if he had received anything in return, he obtained, through giving of himself, a feeling of reward and accomplishment. I think many of us may hear the word service and think of something you must grudgingly do, or the number of hours you must put in. I used to look at service in this sense, but my ideas have changed during the time I've been at high school. Before my freshman year, I knew I wanted to get involved in a wide variety of organizations. I looked ahead, not necessarily to help others, but to find activities to include on the college and scholarship applications that I would need to complete 4 years in the future. As time went on, I became involved in the theater productions, choir, publication staffs, language, and competed in track. My mother realized that these were important activities, but suggested that I get involved in a group to help others, a service organization. I figured I helped others through my church youth group and didn't think to look any further. The summer after my sophomore year, I had the idea of volunteering at the hospital, but only because I figured I should. After my first day of volunteering at the hospital, I felt as if I had helped so many people. It wasn't as if they had given me my name tag and told me I was performing surgery and I ended up saving someone's life. I had delivered balloons to patients. I didn't know why they were in the hospital, how long they had been there, or how long they would stay. But as I smiled and handed each patient a balloon, they gave to me a smile and a feeling that I had actually brightened their day by just visiting them. Ralph Waldo Emerson said, "It is one of the most beautiful compensations of this life, that no man can sincerely try to help another without helping himself." I was simply giving a balloon to someone, but in return, I received a feeling that I had actually helped them. Members of National Honor Society take part in many service events. Throughout the year, some members donate time giving birthday parties to children. During December, we take part in an enormous effort to raise money to buy clothing for needy children in Moline. This year, Our National Honor Society raised a record of $14,697 of the $15,500 Moline High School raised for the Shared Choice cause. And in the spring, the current and new members of National Honor Society worked together to deliver singing balloonograms to people throughout the community. Last year, after visiting an elderly man to give a singing ballonogram, we heard from his daughter who had been taking care of him. She said it was one of the most enjoyable experiences her father had had in a long time.
Extremely impressive, and I've appreciated and enjoyed knowing all of them and what they've done. I'm impressed by their demonstration tonight. They have shown all of us that they have surely succeeded in their past years and are ready to do bigger and better things. I know that all of us know that it's very difficult to get entrance into the National Honor Society. In fact, for your information, it requires a minimum of 3.5 cumulative GPA, and that's extremely impressive, to say the least. And you can look at that a number of ways. In my book, that demonstrates an A- average over a lot of semesters of work. And very few people, probably here tonight, can look back and see the same kind of thing in their past record. But also, in addition to that, it includes demonstrations of character, which we've heard about tonight, leadership. These young people are extremely active in our school, very proud of what they've done, and we feel they've represented not only our school, but their families and this community extremely well. And we're very grateful for that. And I also think about the National Honor Society, and when I do that, I think about any number of other recognitions someone mentioned tonight that young people can get. I can think of none as impressive and as significant as being in the National Honor Society. I believe that there will be a lot of things that you forget when you leave Moline High School. And I think one of the things you'll never forget is that you'll remember the National Honor Society, that you'll be inducted into the National Honor Society. And I believe that's something you'll use and carry with you from this day forward. It's my job to present this group of new inductees and the old ones to all of you. It's my pleasure to do that. I'm happy to do that. And congratulations to all of you on the hard work. And keep up the great work. You have everything going for you. You've demonstrated extreme potential. You're young. I think you've got a lot ahead of you. Thanks for letting me be a part of this, and congratulations again.
Thank you, Brett. I said, well, I don't know if my old lady's going to carry me over there many more years. After all, this is my 11th year of retirement. And, well, she said, you're going to avoid the steps. She said, I suggest you come in and side in the back. That'll make it easier for you. I didn't tell you, Jill, but that's exactly what I did last year. The term special guest hardly applies to an old-timer who's been involved with the National Honor Society Scholarship Program since the early 1950s. However, I'm grateful for the opportunity of congratulating you seniors here on the stage, the juniors seated before us, and also I want to especially congratulate your parents for the enthusiasm, the guidance, and the love they have given you, and encouragement, so that you are where you are this evening. Without their love and their encouragement and interest in you, you might not even be here this evening. So parents, we do thank you. I think that you are now clear that not only do these students excel in the academic world, but also in the community with activities and accomplishments there, the church work, many other areas, visiting old people to cheer them up and to realize that humanity is important and our community is what it is only as long as we love and are interested and concerned with the welfare of others. And somewhere these young people each year have this feeling, this interest in the well-being of the people that surround them. I think maybe Mr. Wood deserves a lot of this credit. You will notice in your the little insert in your program this evening that all but two of these people decided whether they're going to college, and all of them are going to further their education, but two are yet undecided where they will go. Last year, the year before, and the year before that, as long as I can remember, we looked at 100% of the Honor Society members that gone on to advanced education. I hope that since next year is the 40th anniversary of the founding of the National Honor Society, as I said, we're back in the early 50s, that we can bring in some of these Honor Society members who have accepted scholarships, gone on to college, and who have done so well in society. You can tell, every medical area, every scientific area, mechanical, education, you name it. We have representatives from this high school who have graduated from college and have found their place in society. My only concern is I just hope that these great, wonderful people that you see here today, or this evening, will continue to contribute to society, and word shall I use, overpower the undesirable element that seems to be creeping into our community even here today. And that we need to do something about the street people, the gang episodes, and the undesirable things that take place and hear about on TV and read about in the newspaper. This evening, there are 64 seniors who will receive scholarships. This year is the third year of the existence of the National Honor Society Scholarship Foundation. Because of low interest rates, we did not increase the scholarships this year. We are awarding a total of $9,800 to the 64 people. There are 4 seniors who deserve our special attention at this time, and I'd like for each of these 4 seniors to rise and be recognized as I call your name. Sarah Beckman. Sarah has done straight A work since 9th grade. She'll receive a $225 scholarship. I think Sarah deserves a special hand. Michelle Almendinger has received 1B since she became a 9th grader here. And it seems that I'm going to mention this, Michelle, that this was in pre-calculus. You stay out of that course. Congratulations to you. Who received a B in advanced comp. Each of these girls will receive $200 scholarships. Even a B or 2 of those advanced courses is nothing to take a back seat for, because some of those courses are very comprehensive. Thank you, girls, for standing. Oh wait, I've omitted here. Catherine Ballman, I must omit you. Catherine received only 2 B's in chemistry and in chemistry. That is a course too that's not easy. She'll receive a $175 scholarship. Each of the other 60 seniors will receive scholarships of $150. Is Mr. Mitchell here? Mr. Ed Mitchell, at this time, will please come forward. Mr. Mitchell was a long time former faculty member here at Moline High School. He's now retired. He will award the scholarships.
James Adamson. Jeffrey Gerstle. James Lewis.
Eric Adler.
Rob Alvin. Jason Anderson. Catherine Bowman. Clifton Brereton. Aubrey Kazia. Hung Choi. Jamie Crawford. Chad Green. Thomas Darwin. Heather the Builder. Matthew Dobrin. Stacy Dreesen. Okay. Elizabeth Green. Jeffrey Grenier. Zachary Howden. Amy Cosler. Carissa Kors. Marissa Myers. Jennifer Moran. Almost here. Mark Moskowitz. Megan Mulder. Gabriela Nunez.
Will all the first-year members stand and repeat after me? Mr. Wood's expertise, hard work, and genuine interest in students, our honor society, our honor society would never become the great organization that it is today. Stand.
I really want to say to the parents and to everyone that what a great group you have here. It's always hard to see these people go on their way because you get to know them so well and you have such good memories and such good times together. I think about this spring, somebody called and asked me if I would give a short talk at a service organization and said, you've been around a long time, for quite a while. I'm sure you've seen a big difference in youth today. I thought about that. Yes, I have seen a big difference in youth today. I think what I really would say is I think I'm as high on youth today as I was the first day I started. I think about when I first started, and I think some of you parents out here, the typical load for a student was 4 classes in gym. Most all these people are taking seven classes. That's 6 academic classes and a physical ed class. They're much more active in sports. Some of them have jobs. Some of them have an early bird classes. Also, they set up here underneath. If you think it's warm out in the audience, you're not at the end of these lights. It's really hot up here. One thing this scholarship, this is really great. When I was working on this, it's nice to, they have now Scott's got it, so that's pretty nice too. I have to think about, as a parent, you're here at the school, you try not to let your student go ahead and do what they're supposed to do. So I'm thinking, I just casually at the very beginning kind of mentioned to Scott that Mrs. Dykema puts out a list of scholarships, and Scott, it wouldn't hurt for you to check on those and to kind of take care of this. And I thought, no, I'm not going to say anything more. I'm just going to see it. It didn't seem like a lot was happening. It was one of the times Scott was coming home from cross country, and I just opened up our bank statement, and up in the corner, if any of you have ever noticed, where it says amount of deposits, and then the amount of checks that you've written, and we had written more than what we had deposited. And when Scott walked in, I thought, I had to say it. I just said, Scott, what have you done about scholarships? And he just kind of smiled and said, well, Dad, it's kind of hard to get interested in some of those since I got the big one. And I said, you have the big one, yeah? And he said, I have the guaranteed one, and it's the, and I'm thinking, boy, I don't remember him filling out. I don't remember much about any of this. I really don't. And I said, you have a big scholarship? He said, yes. I said, what is it? He said, the Stan Wood Scholarship. And I think as parents, I think we do know that sometimes this plodding along on filling out some of the applications and not knowing what you're going to do with it, and that's why that I appreciate so much the idea that Mr. Griffith had when we started this, was that nobody has to fill out an application. We didn't award 4 scholarships of a large amount. Everybody shared and more or less got something. I do again, parents, congratulations to you, and you're a great group. Thank you.
I want to thank everyone for coming to tonight's ceremony. All of your members are reminded that tomorrow is National Honor Society Day. Make sure to wear your pins. A special gift is waiting outside for the parents of all first-year members from Mr. Tim Bell. Nifty bumper sticker. Put it on your motor vehicle. All members interested in going to the Great American Trip on May 22nd, be sure to sign up immediately outside. Linograms are on sale in the hallway for parents. Send one to your favorite Mulling student or faculty. If you want one to, send one to me. I now want to invite everyone to the terrific reception waiting for us in the cafeteria. PTSA has done a great job, and I hope that everyone attends. Thank you. Good night.
Report up there.